So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me for tea talk and table time with Tiffany. Lots of teas, I like that. Ah, yes.
I'm so glad you could come and join.
Oh, I love the tea kettle. Oh,
It's a wedding gift.
Wedding gift. Yeah. How long y'all been married now? We're going in 2021.
2021. Okay,
it just
so
started.
12.
Okay, hitting
It'll
on
be
12.
12
Okay.
in November.
All right, that's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
So talk to me. I mean, most people know you're the first lady of EBC Steele Creek. And they see you with the 3 boys, know they're a handful, but I don't think really people know a lot about you. So we want to take this tea time as a time to talk and find out about Tiffany. Childhood, what was it like?
Army life. I lived not on Fort Bragg, but I'm from Fayetteville. So childhood was very good for me. Only child, so
Didn't know that.
yeah, didn't have to share my
Twins.
toys. Oh, really?
Yes.
I
knew
think you
liked
did.
for-
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew I liked you for the right reason. So only child, did y'all travel a lot, or was your dad based at Fort Bragg?
So we did not travel. We let my dad travel. And the understanding with that is just if he goes, then he doesn't have to stay as long overseas versus taking the whole family and then having to stay there for a long time. So that's why he would usually go and we would stay.
But for the most part, you were an Army brat, but you didn't have to deal with the whole moving and making new friends and all that stuff.
No.
Okay.
I went to Westover Senior High School and went to North Carolina A&T State University.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
All right.
Yeah, so it was fun. Had a great time. Learned a lot. So.
Did you always want to be a teacher?
No. Growing up, I loved playing with the baby dolls and lining them up, and I was a great teacher, with the dolls and all that. And I played this probably every single day. I remember.
Pictures.
Yeah, I know.
There gotta be some pictures somewhere.
I don't think they ever took any pictures of me just playing school, because I did it all the time. We just had the whole setup. But once I got into high school, that kind of changed a little bit. I was like, yeah, I want to be able to drive the nice cars, have a nice house, whatever. And, you weren't going to get that in teaching. So it was like, yeah, no, I'm going to have to do something else. So once I got to college, I came in undecided, but then changed my major to business admin.
I did not know that. So you're a business ad major. Business, okay.
I started off business ad and quickly started to realize that maybe this was not for me. The macro economics was like a killer. I'm just like memorizing a whole bunch of supply, demand, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I really don't get this. And then accounting came and it was over. And my GPA was like very low. And it was like, okay, I can't keep this up. I don't want to fail at this. My parents are putting a lot of money into it. I've got to find something else. And my poor mom, I remember, she was like, well, you can work for the airlines. You can work for American Airlines. You can be a little steward, flight attendant. And I was like, yeah, that'll be good, till you figure out, what it is you want to do. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, So started thinking about that. And I think I want to say I did fill out an application. I'm not sure. Got started in the process, still at A&T. And at that point, I think that's when I went on and changed my major to elementary ed or early childhood education. And that's where I remained for the rest of my years in college, so.
Okay, so you graduate single.
Yeah.
Single life.
Single.
And how did you end up in Charlotte? Because I know you went to Fayetteville, you're from Fayetteville, and you went to A&T in Greensboro.
Greensboro, yeah. So this is one of the wonderful things I like about going to a HBCU is the relationship you have with your professors. And one of my professors, Miss Robinson or Dr. Robinson, she welcomed me into her home for the summer before I even transitioned here to Charlotte. And she was one of the ones who actually told me about a new program opening up here in Charlotte, child development program, pre-K program. And she was like, this would be a great fit, you know, you should try it. So I did, and I got the job, and she let me stay with her in Greensboro. So that helped out a lot. I had a little job in Greensboro, and I didn't want to go back home to Fayetteville, quit my job, go back home to Fayetteville. I wanted to kind of keep that job going so that I would be ready for when I moved to Charlotte. So it was just nice to have someone that would let me stay with them for a while for the summer before moving here.
Independent, only child in Charlotte. How did you end up at Ebenezer?
Oh my, that was many years later. My friend, best friend, and she actually goes to Steele Creek now. She was a member of Ebenezer, Maine. Well, no, she wasn't a member, but she was going to that church. And she would always tell me about it, and I was like, well, you know, I'm looking for a place, you know, that I could go to that's near the house, because I knew how I was. I couldn't be driving across town to go to church, because then it would never happen. So I needed a church that was going to be nearby. And she was like, well, why don't you try my church? So I visited with her a couple of times, and I really enjoyed it. At the time, it wasn't all the hustle and bustle, a whole lot of people there. You got in, you got out, you know, so I like that.
Now, I remember seeing you as part of the dance ministry. I think that's my first interaction with you, was watching when we were in media doing the dance ministry. How did you get in that? Did you dance as a child? Did you dance in high school or college, or what?
So yeah, I danced off and on. I danced when I was, you know, a little girl, I think for maybe 2, maybe 3 years. Then stopped, took up piano lessons for a while, probably most of my, you know, childhood life. And then I was like, okay, I won't do that anymore. But once I got like a senior or junior in high school, you know, I always wanted to be a majorette, because my mom was a majorette, and she used to always tell me about how fine she was, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I can't wait, you know, to do that. So I was a majorette my junior and senior years of high school. So, I mean, that was probably about as much dance as I gotten, other than, you know, college parties.
It's okay, you can say parties. You know, we all have a life.
Party life, you know, so.
How did you get into the dance ministry at EBC though?
It was just beginning to start up, and so I was like, this will be good. Marilyn Rising was putting together a dance ministry. I was like, yeah, you know, I should do this. And, you know, I nudged my friend. I was like, you know, what you think? You know, we should do it. So she was like, yeah. So we did, and I think if I was going to join anything, you know, within the church, that was going to be my thing to get me closer to God. So, you know, yeah, I did the Bible studies or whatever, but this right here was just going to be mine.
It's your way of really expressing and connecting to God in your way.
Yes.
And I can understand that. And, you know, for those who are new to EBC Steele Creek and never saw the dance ministry at EBC Maine, you guys were awesome, very creative. People would get chills and give you standing ovations, because it was a way of glorifying God with movement, you know? And we're going to bring that up a little later, because I know that was what caught Pastor Walt's eye about you, but more really about you. So if you had to give 3 words to describe yourself, what would they be and why?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is quiet. I think everybody will say, oh, yeah, you're quiet. And I am. I'll admit to the fact that I am quiet. So that would be one. The other one would probably be, I don't, take too much from people.
Okay.
So I'm quiet, but don't get that confused.
Don't get the other side.
Yeah, don't get that other side. I can work with you for a while, but I am one of those people that I can carry it for a little while, and if you keep it up, boom, there it is. So I'm either 0
or 10. Or 10,
yeah.
Well, I guess that kind of relates to Pastor Walt, because it's like, we going 0 to 10, ain't no breaking in between. All right, and now the third one.
Now the third one, caring. I do care about, my family, of course, friends, and, always wondering about, how, people are doing, especially now during this time. So just caring, and I'm just always, being a teacher and, just teaching, the smaller kids and just knowing their backgrounds, that caring part, you just can't help to just kind of pull out, because, you see some stuff, some stuff, so.
And you can't fix it.
Right, exactly, so, yeah.
Okay, so how long did you teach?
I've been in education for 23 years, yes. And so for maybe like 5 or 6 years, I was in the classroom, and then I came out of the classroom and I was a literacy coach. And I did that for about 7 or 8 years, I believe. And then I went back into the classroom, and then that's where I finished out.
What grade level?
Pre-K and K, yeah.
You've got tons of experience dealing with the boys with all that background. What's the, I want to hear about that. So, okay, as a teacher, what would you want parents to know about preparing their kids for school? Or what are some of the things that you've seen that you think would improve if parents did X?
It's funny because when I was a school teacher, especially when I was young, I was one of the ones to be like, well, all you gotta do is this, this, and this, and blah, 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 and oh, it's just so easy. Why is this a hard thing? Read to them every night, blah, 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 do this, and then you become a mother, and then you're like, and I started playing myself back, and I'm like, this is some tough stuff, yeah. So you do want to, do those things, but don't beat yourself up, I'm really starting to see that now, especially now that I'm homeschooling. You do have to take the lead of the child, or else you're gonna wear yourself out. And it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. It's nothing easy. And if I can just be transparent, there are some times when I'm just like, whew, Lord, y'all my children.
3.
Yeah.
It's bad enough for 1.
Yeah. So, like I said, if I had to say something to parents, don't beat yourself up, but do try your best, follow the child's lead. What are they interested in? And go from there.
In the next Tea Time and Table Talk with Tiffany, we'll find out what it took for Pastor Walt to finally win her over, and why his wardrobe selection might have lessened his chances.
That was the first time I had ever seen him or whatever, and we were just like, look at that suit he got on.
It's all coming up in the next Tea Time and Table Talk.